Oh. Cheese fondue. The chicken basil. The chicken scintillating essence of basil and creamy cheese will awaken anyone's appetite. Oh, baby. Albi rice, skew, kaku ice cream. I'm sorry, were those delicious kalbi? Oh, it is. Oh, yeah. Go with the Japanese beef ribs. Fondue and beef ribs, please.
Starving.
I want to dip chicken into
melted
melted cheese.
Pretty tasty. Thanks.
Taxi. Boop. I mean, he was definitely doing a smarmy thing. Komori, go to sleep. Get up! Get up, come on! What was that move? Glasses directly in his brain now.
What a waste.
Sturdy coil. I love the civilians just like fist pumping, like, yeah! Mess that dude up! Sorry, ma'am. Official business. Wait, I just hit the button without paying attention. I think I just went to a different part of Shinjuku. Yep. Oh, I just had to go to the Genda Law office. That's fine. No! Stop talking to the taxi driver. The run button and the get in cab button are the same button. Perfect. More experience points. No! I get into a fog.
Oh, perfect timing, Yagami-san. And here I was about to go without you. Are you ready to visit Mamiya-san?
Time to head for the home of Aharu's victim, who doesn't know we're dropping in. Everyone loves surprises. Mamiya's apartment, please. Yes, driver, to Mamiya's apartment, please. I don't know where that is, sir.
Remember, we're speaking to a victim here, Yagami-san. One whose assailant we defended in court.
She's gonna
love us. If we had tried to make an appointment, she probably would have declined outright.
Not sure showing up unannounced is much better. So let's just hope she's willing to talk.
No one lives here.
Yes.
It's a front.
There's no way around it. It's a risk we had to take.
Drive, goddammit,
Well,
drive!
here goes nothing.
Bing bong.
Yes?
I'm Shirasaki from the Genda Law Office, the attorney for Mr. Akihiro Ehara. You may remember me from the hearings.
Why are you here? Don't you know it's rude to show up at someone's door uninvited?
I understand, but we have a pressing matter that directly concerns you. If we could do this another way, we would. I apologize for any inconvenience.
I'm sorry, but the trial's over and done with. You know I can legally turn you away.
You're right, but I'm only asking a moment of your time. Please, would you mind?
Even Sayori-san couldn't whip up a solid approach for this. We're really out of luck here?
I don't have time for this. I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Wait, before you do that. Sorry to butt in. I'm Yagami, a detective helping Saori here out.
And?
Can't let this be the end. Need to talk to her and open the door, somehow. Empathize.
Are you aware of the trending video that's leading people to believe Hara committed murder? Thing is, the victim was confirmed to be alive in Yokohama until the morning of your own incident. And since Ahara was on the train with you, they're ruling him out as a murder suspect.
So, what is it you're getting at?
Just trying to ensure you're in the clear from any of that unfortunate business. If we could do this now, we'd never bother you again. All we need is 10 minutes of your time.
How absurd.
We're only trying to
Trying to
help,
put him in jail for
but
longer.
if later would work better for you, we could always come back another time. With our supervisor, of course. That visit would probably be more formal. There'd be paperwork, audio tapes, you know the drill. You'll want to clear your schedule.
I really don't have time for any of that.
No, I understand, and it's entirely our fault. We thought we'd do this casually, but
Love his
we
stupid
really
wallet
should have
chain.
been more by the book.
It's massive.
But it is a murder case, so we do have to make sure our paperwork is in order here. Now, would you prefer to schedule a date to accommodate a more formal interview?
You said 10 minutes if we do it now, right?
We'll make it as painless as possible.
All right. Hold on.
We really do appreciate it.
Well, I'm impressed. I'm also not sure I should trust a word you say ever again.
Really? I did get us in the door, didn't I?
I'm joking. I do appreciate the help. Now let's not screw this up. This is likely the only conversation we'll have with Mamiya-san.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi. Again, we apologize for the intrusion.
Let's just get this over with already.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We'll make this quick.
Kami, take your shoes off, you fucking animal. We can use a conversation opener with Mamiya. Let's take a quick look around for something useful.
What the?
Enhance! Child's drawing, probably of his mother. They even put it in a nice frame, how cute. Good icebreaker. Likes plants and candles. Quaint. 1, 2, 3 coat hooks, but only one hanger and nothing on them. Interesting. Take note of that. Flowers,
Suspicious.
right. Wait. If I remember correctly, Yui Mamiya lives here with her husband and son. They seem pretty happy in this picture. I'll bring that up. What's this? A bike.
What the?
A children's bicycle. Obviously, that belongs to the boy we just met. Otherwise, that lady drives a very small bike. A baseball bat next to the entranceway. Is afraid of attrackers. Attrackers? Intruders. That, or is into softball. Only 2 pairs of slippers. Interesting. Oh, done with that picture. Look at the bike. They're just in there like, where the fuck is Yagami? He's out here just like, desperately staring at all the things, like, oh god, there has to be a clue here somewhere. A child's drawing, probably of his mother. They even put a nice frame. How cute. What? That's impossible. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Just looking around. Quite the layout they've got here. The kitchen has a clear view of the living room. Keep that in mind. The fuck is this? Jesus Christ. Fusel. Delicious
Suspicious.
fusel. There's the goods. Time for a pat down. That's the kind of filth that must have gone through his mind on the train. What a pig. Excuse me? Bulletin board. I must get a good look at the bulletin board. Oh. Aww. That's a good pupper. Sure, the laptop's full of useful data. But we're obviously not getting to it. Whoa, fucking Yagami. Judging by the drawing and the 2 pairs of slippers, she obviously murdered her husband with a baseball bat and hid his body in the fusil box. I got her. Looks like you enjoy your kid's artwork, Mamiya-san. You're real shame if something were to happen to his hands.
What the?
Yui, Mamiya's 6-year-old son. Cute kid. I'd guess he'd just started grade school. He seems pretty excited by visitors dropping by. Looks like his dad's not home yet. He's doing the I'm excited wiggle. Building blocks used to plan murder? What the hell's going on with your TV setup? For a married couple only in their 30s, they seem to be living pretty comfortably. Maybe their parents are helping them out too. Whatever the case, they're clearly above average income. Because look, they own a TV. Booze! Tequila Blanco. 1, 2, 3 bottles of tequila. Good lord. Single malt whiskeys. God damn, people! Some alcoholics live here. What am I missing? There's still something. Fuck off, kid. They like the party. Yeah, they got magic barriers that pop up that prevent me from seeing other parts of the house. Come on, Yagami, what else are we looking for here?
What the?
This place is so clean, even without expecting guests. I ought to do the same with my office. Really? Really? That's what we're taking note of? Did I miss something else in the hallway? God, she's gonna be so happy we came to visit. Got the bike already. Got the family photo. Got the picture. God damn it, you got me. What do you want from me? One of the fire detector. Whoa. Wait, something else popped up over here. Oh my god. What is it? What is it? What do you want? What other lifestyle things do you want me to look at? Fossil! I've already looked at the kid. Has a check mark next to his dumb head. That's her laptop. Mommy's rear is what you called that one? Quentin Tarantino here. This is my favorite part. Oh my goodness me. This room belongs to Yui Mamiya, the groping victim. I should scope out the place before I talk to her. Need to get an impression of how Mamiya and her son live day to day. Yeah, no shit, but like, what do you want me to look at? There's nothing left, Yagami. Prepares the spray bottle. What the fuck am I missing? Look at the child who obviously needs to take a bathroom break. I need to take a look at where... Back up her. I saw the pans. Examine frying pans. We got kitchen as a whole, frying pans. Where do you keep your knives, lady? Ceiling? Already got the TV. Sweet Lord. I don't understand. What are we missing here, team? Like, I feel like this is what I want to look at, but the game's like, nah, that's not important. I beg you. And with the front door. Like, I thought the baseball bat might be something, but... Got the bike. Got the children's drawing. Whoa. Alright, I've been trying to get the jungle gym to proc, but so far no luck. The jungle gym. Oh my god, look at this. It doesn't actually show up unless I focus. A kid's playset must be fucking nice, having a place big enough for one of these. That wasn't the last one? Good night, Queen. Maybe it's her feet. Well, now we know.
Suspicious.
Saori Shirazaki, experienced lawyer at Genda Laws. I practiced there too until a few years ago. Looking at her now, you wouldn't guess it, but she's even done undercover work as a hostess at a popular bar. Alright, we gotta do more focusing. That's our victim. She got on the same train. Ah, there we go. We're done. Good God. All this for an icebreaker.
So, Doc, I've already told the police and the court everything they could want to know about that morning.
I'm sorry to put you through this again, but would you mind going over those details with us?
What else is left to discuss?
I understand how pressured you might feel.
I've gone over this so many times. I wonder if pressing charges was even worth it.
No, what you did was both brave and inspirational. Many victims are afraid to come forward for any number of reasons. Your voice might give them courage to find their own.
Ironic. Hearing this from that predator's defense team.
Well, perhaps.
Would you mind walking us through that day from the beginning?
It's nothing so mysterious. I was just on my way to work when some man grabbed my butt. That's all it was.
Nothing else was out of the ordinary that day?
Correct.
Not to pry, but where is your husband today?
Still at work? He usually doesn't get home until later. On that note, I have to feed my son, so let's get this wrapped up soon.
We'll try our best to. Moving along. On that day, you and Ahara-san boarded the train bound for Ikebukuro, correct? Had you ever seen the man before then?
No. At least not that I can recall. How many times must I go over this? Your lawyer friend here already knows everything I have to say. What do you gain by getting me to repeat things?
That's the thing. Yagami-san here is a specialist.
I'm a specialist.
He can take whatever you repeat, analyze it, and draw up an entirely new conclusion. Right?
Of course. That's exactly why I'm here.
Great, now the pressure's really on. Seems to be a reoccurring thing lately. People always want results out of me for some reason.
In the security footage as you stepped onto the train, it looks like Ahara-san stepped right behind you. Were you aware of his presence at this point?
I was. It felt like someone kept pushing up against me with no sense of personal boundaries. I remember second-guessing myself at the time, thinking it was normal for the train to be that packed.
Then the train took off while you were stuck in that situation.
Yes. And then I felt the back of his hand against me. It kept getting worse from there, to the point where he went under my skirt. And the pig had the nerve to write it off as an accidental brush on a crowded train.
That
But
bastard.
that kind of touch wasn't accidental. He even grabbed at me.
Truly awful. And I do sympathize. I've also had to turn in an abuser like that. Personally speaking, some men can't wait to debase themselves at the first opportunity.
Why would you say that and look at me?
I just stood there, frozen. I couldn't see who was touching me. I had no idea what to do. I wanted to scream. But what if he just played it off? So I decided I would bear it till the next station.
Are you okay, Mommy?
I'm fine, sweetie. We're just having a bit of grown-up talk. Are you hungry?
Uh-huh.
Then go read your book and wait over there for Mommy.
Go eat your book.
We're almost done.
Nom 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 nom. Looks like this is going to be ending soon, no matter what. I should keep my questions brief. Up to now, I haven't heard any contradictions between Mamiya's account and the security footage.
You said the abuse lasted the entire 6 minutes between Ikebukuro and Shinjuku Station. Did you see the groper's face at any time during that span?
No. I was too terrified to look. And I thought, even if I did, he'd just pull away and escape. But just as the train was pulling into Shinjuku, I reached back and grabbed the hand on me. That's when I saw his face. Of course, he shook me off as the doors opened, but I'd already gotten a clear look at him. He must have known I could turn him in at that point. So he ran, and I chased after.
Right. That was captured by the station's security cameras.
Great job tailing him in such a crowded space. On that note, did you ever happen to lose sight of Ahara-san while running?
His cap was pretty easy to spot, and no one else was bolting off the platform like that, so I never lost sight of him. At that point, I could feel my voice returning, so I just screamed, "That man grabbed me!"
I'm glad there were good Samaritans nearby.
For sure. And there were a lot of smartphones out, so I figured there was no way for him to get away with it.
Perfect
I'm so
alibi.
relieved.
I see. I think I've got the gist of it. But now we've got a piece of evidence that contradicts what you've told us.
What do you mean?
Yui Mamiya's story lines up with her testimony from the trial, but there's one thing that it contradicts. Getting pinged down passengers, edit TV, trace element report, waiting. Footage clearly shows the female victim grabbing his wrist. The blind spot.
Despite what we just went over, wouldn't you say this contradicts your account of the incident?
I'm not sure what you mean. Did I say something odd?
No, Yagami-san is currently the odd one here.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, that wasn't what I had in mind.
That's not
at
the
all.
right evidence. Whoops.
If you'll allow me to rephrase.
One thing that it contradicts. Well, it's not that. Is it really just the murder taking place at the same time? It's the only thing that would really contradict anything.
Well, on the same day, at 6:30 a.m. in Yokohama, a student teacher named Hiro Mikoshiba was sent off to work by his mother. But he was soon abducted near his home, only to be found dead much later in
Don't
Ujincho.
grope anyone, Creedmoor.
Is that-
Jeez.
According to the video, the Hara-san here is the murderer.
What?
He killed Mikoshiba in cold blood to get vengeance for his bullied son. His kid was about to graduate high school, but instead, he took his own life. So Ihara took it upon himself to punish his son's tormentor.
That's awful.
But now we come back to the issue here. If this footage is authentic, then Ihara-san couldn't have been your assailant. The victim's estimated time of death and Ihara-san's time of arrival in Tokyo simply don't allow for it. It's just not possible for someone to make that commute. But there's the flip side. If Ihara-san was in fact your assailant, it would mean this murder footage is a fabrication.
I don't know what you expect me to say after all this.
Right? Now you know how we're feeling. That's why we came to see if you had any leads for us.
So that's what this is about.
After hearing your story, I have no doubt you endured a lot that day. Which would obviously mean that murder video was faked.
Then, who shared that video? And why?
Wine to
Wish I knew. Based on the quality, something this convincing would need quite a budget. Whether it's CG on top of real murder footage, or just a rock-solid AI creation, no way it was cheap. So why go through all this effort to fake a murder? Who would benefit from it? But I have to say, I feel much closer to piecing this puzzle together with your help today.
Do we?
Thank you very much for your time.
Do we?
Yes.
I feel like we didn't learn
and
anything.
rest assured, this will be the last time you see us. Our apologies for the unexpected visit. And for dredging up unpleasant memories.
It's fine. So long as this is really the end of it all.
We learned so much.
I'd like to report Mamiya-san's account to the rest of the team. Can I count on you to be there?
Sure. Let me give Kaito-san a heads up.
All right, then I'll see you there.
Yo, me.
Hey, I just got back to Kamurocho. Everything good? Any news?
All good here, man. What's with you?
What is the plot? I'll give you a
worried
little
arcade
catch
got
up
to
in a
me or
second.
something?
I mean, they did run their mouths about stabbing us in the back. But if you're good, I'm good.
I just feel like we
Anyway,
didn't
I'm heading
gain
to
much
Gendo,
new
so
information
sorry, Son,
from
I
that
can go over what we learned from
conversation.
Mamiya.
You're the boss. As for me, I'm calling it a day.
It just kind of confirmed what we already
You
knew.
do that.
Alright, for Katase and anyone who may not have seen all of what we've done so far in this game, essentially, there was a groping on a train, and during the trial, the man who was being convicted of groping a woman on a train, like, it was all airtight, there was no way he was not going to be accused and convicted of the groping. He then said, hey, you're going to find a dead body at this address. And everyone's like, oh shit, how did he know about this? So suddenly we have this groping incident, and we have a murder. We learn that the victim of the murder, the dead body, that man, when he was a student, tormented the groper's son until he committed suicide. And that the groper, a former police officer, probably murdered him for revenge. The problem is the groping and the murder overlap, and he's using the groping as an alibi. No, he's using groping as an alibi for murder, not the other way around. So the sexual battery charges are his alibi for the murder. He couldn't have committed the murder if he was busy doing that. We're trying to figure out, how did he commit both crimes? Or was someone impersonating him? Was the footage fabricated? We're trying to unravel the mystery. Who killed the person? How did he do it? All that good stuff.
Are we ready, Yagami-san? Let's start with our visit to Mamiya-san, if that sounds reasonable to you.
Seems reasonable to me.
Yeah, let's start there.
So, the victim's story is completely in line with her court testimony, huh?
That's correct.
Yes, the
There
timeline
wasn't
is
anything
available
new
in the
to pick up.
game. We can go over that if you want.
In which case, should we look into the murder video instead? Like, figure out how they made it?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Whether that tape's fake or real, someone had to put it online, right? Do we have any theories on who that might be?
Well, the footage showed enough of the surroundings to make the crime scene clear. As somebody who's been there, I can confirm that the blood splotches match what you see in the footage. Which means...
Stop showing the murder video, kid. Who uploaded Ahara's murder footage to the internet? Ahara posted the video himself? Obviously not. He is in prison. The prosecutor posted the video? Possibly. His accomplices makes the most sense. The Kanagawa detectives posted. So Ahara's accomplices make the most sense.
the murderer's accomplices have to be the ones who posted it for him.
Yeah, I can't see it any other way.
I also agree with Yagami-san.
But in that case, what would their motive be?
Good question.
Maybe they wanted to make a mockery of the police, or even the whole system.
That makes the most sense.
Huh?
Undermine the justice
We
system.
know
That's what
Ihara
we're
got
working with
himself
in the moment.
convicted for groping, so he'd have an alibi for Mikoshiba's killing. But then, his conspirators turned it around by uploading the murder video online. Almost as if to say, look how he got away with it.
I see. Yeah, that does make it sound like he's taunting them.
That's well and good, but I'd like to shift gears.
Alright, shift away.
Let's talk about the actual fabrication of the video. How does one go about that?
Well, for example, the true culprit would be taped murdering Mikoshiba. Then Ihara's face would be copied and blended onto the killers. That's how they'd approach it in a Hollywood movie.
But then, wouldn't you be able to see traces of it being faked?
Tsukumo-san reported that he's found nothing of the sort in his analysis.
We've been down this road before. If we take the stance that the footage is fabricated, we have absolutely nothing to work with.
Then let's tackle this from the stance that the video's actually real.
Yeah?
If that's the case, there has to be a flaw in the groping issue. I think we've collected enough evidence to find it too.
It's the blind
Before
spot.
meeting with Yui Mamiya, didn't you mention the possibility of Ihara using a stand-in? Perhaps the real Ihara murdered Mikoshiba in Ijincho, then swapped places with the imposter so he could be detained.
But we couldn't find an opportunity for the swap to happen, remember?
In the blind
From
spot!
the moment he set foot on the Ikebukuro platform, Ihara was constantly on camera.
But wait, that's not
Finally!
entirely accurate, is it?
Finally, it's happening! Ahara wasn't constantly on camera between Ikebukuro Station and Shinjuku, and the proof is... dun 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 bam!
Remember how we mocked up a diagram of the Shinjuku Station platform?
Christ, I said
Yeah.
this before we went to talk to that
wait,
lady.
That's it! You could be onto something. There's a point where Ihara wasn't on camera at all.
What is this point you speak of?
Let's all go over the diagram so that everything will be clear. Here's what I want you to see.
Wah, wah.
What the?
This is the spot I'm looking for.
It's very brief, but there's a moment where Ihara and Mamiya-san can't be seen by the security cameras. The dotted lines on the arrow represent the camera's blind spot.
It does appear so. So you're saying this is where the groper, the fake Ihara, traded places with the real one?
Could have been that little
Can't say
nook
it's
over the
impossible,
stairs
right?
there.
Right. Except if that actually happened, Mamiya-san would have been right behind them at the time. Could the two really swap places without her noticing?
Right there.
In a crowd
Right there in
like
that nook.
I think it's feasible.
If that really was Ihara's plan, then I'd say he was being careless.
Careless? How?
Well, on the day of the incident, the station was packed for morning rush hour. That means there was no solid guarantee the assailant could make the switch. He could have been nailed by any random passerby before reaching the blind spot.
Good point. Not only that, if Mamiya-san had called for help while the train was still moving, then the first Ihara would have been caught before even reaching the platform.
Oh,
Well, the trick is if he gets prosecuted for one,
Think about it, Yagami-san.
and
Why
it
would
turns out
Ihara's
it was not
accomplices
true, it
meticulously plan out
complicates the
every last detail
entire
of
murder
this alibi,
investigation.
only to leave
Drunken
such a
disorderly,
crucial component
less
to
so.
chance,
No
as
victim and all
Hoshino-kun
that.
pointed out.
Oh, just doing my job.
Just doing my job.
True. Good work, Hoshino-kun. In fact, I think that may back up my own take on it.
Yeah?
What if everything, including the appearance of leaving the plan to chance, was part of the plan?
Oh.
Can you expound on that?
It's true. It's
I'm
possible.
saying I
fortunately.
agree that such an airtight alibi wouldn't have allowed for contingencies. And that takes the question to another level. Just how far did they line up the pieces in advance to make the swap work?
Are you saying there's more to it than we discussed? What did we miss?
If everything on the day of the murder, including the train groping, was planned from start to finish, what else can we possibly deduce? Hiro Mikashiba is still alive? No, that's a corpse. Yui Mamiya was colluding with Ihara? That's possible. The real murder took place at Kamurocho? No. The prosecution faked the footage. I mean, colluding would make the most sense if we're going down this avenue.
I know this won't go over well, but what if Mamiya was colluding with Ihara all along?
Huh?
Bear with me. Let's say Mamiya was in on this, and knew about the imposter in advance. If that's the case, the swap could happen right in front of her and no one but the three of them would know.
You're saying the victim of a groping conspired with her assailant beforehand? That's ridiculous.
I don't like it either. It's not a suggestion I'm fond of, but I have to consider the possibility of Mamiya playing a part in this conspiracy.
Let me just say, I'm only trying to work out how a swap like that would be guaranteed to work. Now, if Ihara and his stand-in both know that Mamiya will pretend not to have seen them, they can trade places in the blind spot with impunity. Conversely, if Mamiya wasn't in on the plan, the idea of a swap would never work. We can say with certainty that she would have seen the swap, so... She could have even called attention to the real Ihara the moment he stepped in. That way, the people around her would be focused on chasing the correct assailant. The rest is as we know it. They caught Ihara and detained him until the police showed up.
Hold that thought. If your theory is accurate, what about Ihara's trace evidence? Remember that fibers of the victim's underwear were detected on his hand.
Well, that can also be explained by Mamiya being in on the plan. For example, while the stand-in was showing himself at the security cameras, Mamiya could have easily provided Ihara access to a pair of underwear at the same time. Maybe the stand-in loitered around for so long because he was letting everyone else get themselves in place.
Bum, bum.
It's not impossible.
We can work out the other details later, but the point is, Ihara's murder alibi is shot if Mamiya was involved. In summary, it's possible Ihara disgraced himself to secure an unshakable alibi for Mikoshiba's murder.
I'll concede that it's an avenue worth pursuing.
And when it comes to the prosecution, they can't just admit they got the first case so wrong. Plus, they
Just
can't
let's see if the
question
other dude
Ihara about
left.
Mikoshiba's murder. In fact, their only option is to claim the tape was faked.
So he managed to make a farce out of the system after all.
Well, his court case for his son's bullying did get more or less thrown out, didn't it? The school, the investigative committee, and the court all agreed there wasn't enough evidence to convict anyone. No surprise for me that the guy held a grudge against the system for so long.
Hold on. Before we all decide on this,
What's up?
the obvious question to me is why would Mamiya be party to such a crime? She appears more than financially stable, and she's even raising a child. So why would she do something so enormously risky as helping establish a murder alibi?
I mean, if a lot of money's involved.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that far yet. But maybe she was promised something that far exceeds the risk. Or maybe Ihara has some kind of dirt on her even?
Enough to make her help with a murder? What sort of secret would be big enough to force someone into that corner?
A 53-year-old patrolman and a married office worker and mother. The only connection between them so far is the train station itself.
What info do we have on Mamiya anyway?
See, showing your
Maybe
face
we
if
can
you
spot
are
a
trying
connection
to,
to
like,
Ahara through her
undermine the
profile.
justice system, there might be an angle there.
I'll pull her
But
information.
we don't have enough
just a
information yet.
Oh, I just thought of something else those two would have guaranteed by working together.
What's that?
If Ahara wanted to use this crime as a murder alibi, he needed it to blow up into the public eye. But if he had chosen a victim who stayed silent, then nothing would have come of it. A solid plan would need to eliminate that variable, which means Mamiya being an accomplice was crucial to Ahara's success.
That's true.
Looks like Ahara pulled one over on the prosecution then. Had his accomplices right where he wanted them, even his victim. Once we learn how he's connected to Mamiya, we can root out the rest of his team.
Let's see. According to her file, her maiden name is Yui Suzuki. 30 years old, so that's
BF
consistent.
cake.
Originally from Ota, Tokyo. Attended a private high school called Kurakawa Academy. Later graduated from Toto University.
Huh.
Met her husband on the job, apparently. Her husband, Taichi Mamiya, is an industrial designer at Techno Zeta Inc. 6
Techno
years ago,
Zeta.
she gave birth to their only son, Sota-kun, who's now in first grade.
Hold on. You said she went to Kurakawa Academy? I heard that name in Ijincho.
The shitty teacher!
If I recall
The shitty
correctly.
teacher that threw the case! Tsukumo graduated. Wasn't I just at that school? Someone spying on me went there. Can't remember if it was the spy guy or not. Well, yeah, sexual battery is what he was charged with, Greenboy. Doot doot. I think we chased down the guy. I think it might be someone spying on me, but it could be where Tsukumo graduated.
That's not where Tsukumo went, was it? Before, closing himself off to the world?
Nah, Tsukumo-san studied remotely.
Damn it.
He told me that when we were out having drinks one night.
Wait. Tsukumo went out drinking with you?
I'm glad I chose this one
Yeah,
anyway.
we had fun.
Why didn't you guys even talk about it?
Hey, why am I getting grilled all of a sudden?
I agree. This is nowhere near relevant.
Yes, it was under the
Yakuza-san,
skirt, but
what were
over
you
the
saying
underwear
about
is what we were
Kurokawa
told.
Academy?
Oh, right.
But just to be clear, indefensible. There's no defending the man. Where have I heard the name Kurokawa Academy?
When I went to scope out the murder scene, there were these 3 guys watching the detectives and me. They told us they were just checking things out, but they mentioned they're Kurokawa grads too.
You have any ID on you?
Will my license work?
Akake-san, age 30.
Akaike-san, age 30. Mommy is 30 as well.
What's that got to do with anything? Aren't we trying to find a connection between Mamiya and Ahara?
I found the Kurakawa Academy website. Looks like they're pretty prestigious. It's in Tokyo, specifically in Ota. Pretty close to where Mamiya lived. Oh,
What?
the girls there get such cute uniforms.
You little... You want to start all over from the bar exam?
Wait, I've seen that uniform before too, actually.
Where?
On an old picture of a teacher at Serio High. Sawa-sensei. Ahara's son confided in her.
Ooh.
Is she actually a Kurokawa grad too? I don't know Sawa-sensei's exact age, but she could well be 30. Maybe all of them were even classmates.
Could this mean they're actually linked? The victim and her up-to-now unrelated assailant?
It's a tenuous link at best. Could fall apart any time. But no true detective alive would pass it up.
That's a different show, True Detective. I'd watch a 24-episode anime about someone wanting to wear that uniform. And so we are. Oh my god, that was the whole chapter.
A previously unseen link is established between the groper and the victim.
That was a short chapter.
Charting out their relationship is akin to tracing a spider's web.
Spider's web is very easy to trace, I take it back.
But with each false thread ruled out, only the improbable truth remains. Ehara orchestrated the groping as a diversion. And by tarnishing his name, he secures both an alibi and his ultimate revenge.
Revenge. Chapter 6. Converging Heat. And that kitty cat walking in the rain. True protagonist.
Hiro Mikoshiba's murder was sparked by the bullying of Toshiro Ehara, who committed suicide 4 years ago. The graphic video that hit the net showed the world how Toshiro's father, Akihiro Ehara, had brutally avenged his son. We also know the father had accomplices. On October 7th at 6:30 a.m., they forced Mikoshiba into a vehicle, took him to an abandoned building, and gravely injured him. Then, around 7:30 a.m., the time frame when Ehara killed Mikoshiba, the other conspirators were probably nearby, even though they weren't on camera.
Rift Wizard? You know I love Rift Wizard.
At the same time, 30 kilometers away at Ikebukuro Station, a man who looks like Ehara is caught on camera. We'll call that guy the stand-in. The stand-in made sure he was in front of the cameras for more than an hour before boarding the 9:06 a.m. train, the same one Yui Mamiya was on. After committing sexual battery on that train, he meets the real Ehara in the camera's blind spot, and they change places. That's how he established a false alibi for Mikoshiba's murder. And to achieve this, the victim, Yui Mamiya, had to have been in on it from the start.
Sure are a lot of people getting their hands dirty for Ehara. Mamiya, Ehara stand-in on the train, the guys who kidnapped Mikoshiba. How did some troubled cop manage to recruit so many allies?
Good question.
Well,
why did the principal
one
kill the
person
other
that
guy?
comes to mind who might be
I don't know what you're
key to all
talking
this
about.
is Yoko Sawa. She's a teacher at Seiryo High. She was the only adult Toshiro-kun ever told about the bullying, and she supervised Mikoshiba as a teacher before he disappeared. On top of that, she's a Kurokawa Academy graduate, same as Mamiya. Those trespassers at the murder scene were also from Kurokawa.
There they are.
Since they're all about the same age, it's possible they were all classmates.
So you're saying these classmates are also Ehara's murder accomplices?
If we consider Yoko Sawa the central link, that's very possible.
Ooh.
We do know that as a teacher, she felt deep remorse for Toshiro-kun's suicide. Maybe she recruited her old classmates to help Ehara take his revenge.
Yeah, best not to rule that out. Though I'm hoping that's not the case.
Why's that?
It's just, she's a really good teacher. She's passionate, responsible. She's always putting the students first. I know she regrets the past, that a student died on her watch. And now another of her students, Mikoshiba, is found murdered. So if it turns out she's involved in that, I doubt I'll be able to trust my own judge of character ever again.
Yagami.
I'm going back to Ijincho tomorrow. The plan is to bring up Mamiya's name to Sawa-sensei and see how she reacts. Until then, let's not jump to conclusions about her involvement.
My knees hurt from
Alright.
jumping to conclusions.
Can I chime in real quick? I was looking into Kurokawa Academy and I stumbled across something that may be relevant.
Yes, boy,
What's
lawyer.
that?
Well, it happened 13 years ago, but there was an attempted suicide. A third year jumped off the school's roof after being thoroughly humiliated.
A bullying suicide from 13 years ago. Didn't Sawa-sensei mention that too? If I remember correctly, the student lived but remains in a coma to this day.
Actually,
Yes.
Sawa-sensei mentioned that. She said it was a boy in her class.
Right, that's gotta be the same case then. The student's name was Mitsuru Kusamoto. He's 30
Yeah, right.
now, but still in a coma.
Huh, and all that info's on the net?
It wouldn't be normally, but his mother happens to be Vice Minister of the Ministry of Health. Ever heard the name Reiko Kusamoto?
Not once.
I have. It was on the news. They were talking about her and her son.
Vice ministers rank above most government officials, so this lady has quite a position of power at the Ministry of Health.
Well, do you remember the uproar in the Health Ministry when Vice Minister Ichinose got arrested?
Yeah, right.
Apparently, his successor
Blaming
couldn't contain
the victim instead of the
resulting
sexy
chaos,
available teacher.
which is when Kusamoto-san got
Really
tapped to
jumping
lead.
to conclusions here.
They couldn't afford another criminal scandal, so her promotion was out of the blue. She was a safe choice, a veteran with tenure and experience. Not to mention, her son's tragedy made people see her as a more sympathetic figure.
I heard it on
Very
the
popular.
news.
She's kind of a new generation heroine, so to speak.
Think you'd have a better time following the story if
Is
the
any
names
of that
were
relevant
localized?
to the case at hand, though?
Who knows? But Reiko Kusamoto and Ahara both have children who were bullying victims. I don't think that's a connection we can afford to overlook, if you ask me.
Okay, so Kusamoto's son. What exactly happened to him?
Let's see. He was bullied by a fellow third year at his school, Shinya Kawai. The records say he harassed Mitsuru-kun every day, in and out of school. Well, one time he even stuffed dirty rags in his mouth.
You.
That's so cruel.
Yeah, and the teacher was a real piece of work. Apparently he knew, but he just smirked and said, "Don't overdo it."
That douchebag teacher.
Oh, I remember now. The media pounced on that one hard.
If they were classmates, then both Sawa-sensei and Mamiya would know about this.
And maybe because they couldn't save Mitsuru-kun, their guilt left them open to Ahara's persuasion.
But to prove that, we'll have to hear from them directly. I'll talk to Sawa-sensei first thing tomorrow.
That'd be helpful. In the meantime, I'll be working on Ahara's appeal. It's clear they missed something important in the trial, since Ahara is apparently innocent of sexual battery. Being that he was out committing murder at the time.
Wow.
What started as a simple harassment case sure has blown up big.
A lot of assumptions to make that true. I wouldn't jump that far yet. Okay, bye everybody. I love you. See you later. Go back to Gabarocha now. No wait. Other place. Gave myself the hiccups. Okie dokie. Nothing new popped up here. Let's make our way. Oh, I'm going back to my office. I want to go back to. I want to go back to Yokohama. How many skill points? 27. 200% more SP. Yes. I'm gonna level up so much faster soon. Gentlemen, gentlemen, gentlemen. Come on. Come on. Well, if you're gonna be in this little alleyway with me, I'll just switch to the bruiser mode and just eliminate you. Let's go. Oh!
Really, guys?
Very nice. I've been neglecting switching combat styles this whole time. I'm gonna switch way more. Oh, right into a car. There you go, Gopper. You want to get hit by a car. I can see where you're coming from, wanting the names localized. I think it would be weird. So, Crane, here you go. Crane does have some of the better music, and is nice and pretty in blue.
And stay down.
Yeah, Crayon I might have my favorite music. It's a very pleasant color blue. Like, with a game that's so very steeped in Japan, it'd be weird if they look less the names. Like, talking about the criminal justice system in Japan, and, like, the bullying problem in Japan, like, all this Japan-centric stuff, and just be like, so, Jeff, what do you think about all this?
Irashaimase.
What kind of cut weird? I'm a wild burger, thank you very much.
Starving. I'm starting to feel pretty tasty. Thanks.
Arigatou.
No, thank you. There's the one. I'm like, give me Crane, give me Crane. I don't know. I want to get the thing where I managed to run up the wall. Come on, yeah! Yeah! That's why Crane's so much fun, is you hit the wall. How am I supposed to know the Suicide Girl was a boy? Well, the picture on the blackboard when they said Ahara's son, like they said son out loud like 700 times. Not to be snarky, but like, they did refer to him as his son. And they did have a picture on the board. What do you think of these Tokyo murders, John Smith? Oh, you gonna block me, are you? I'll switch to the block-breaking one. Hold on. Yeah, it'd be quite weird.
And stay down.
Or as you put it, quite cringe. As the kids would say.
I wish you had.
Blech. Psych! Yay!
What a waste.